Hello, good evening. Good evening, viewers and replay viewers. Hey, it goes to. Thanks for joining today. Sophia, DG, thanks for joining. Thank you so much. Brenda Butler, 16. Hey, Queen B, how are you doing? Samantha, thanks for joining. Thank you, Sophia. Thank you. Yanks, not Mads. I like it. You guys always give me a chuckle. I gotta tell you, hey, Mama's Child, thanks for joining. Thank you guys. Pickles D Gallo. I can just laugh off these tags all night. You guys are just hilarious. Thanks for inviting your followers. Thanks for giving hearts, guys. Tap the screen means you enjoy the content and it looks really nice. Thank you. Hey, Frankie. Thanks for, is it Frankly? Thanks, Frankly, for joining. Samantha, thanks for inviting your followers. Kit Kat, I appreciate you coming on. I'm not stuck. I like it. You cracked me up when I were on my scope. I did. Sorry, I didn't mean to. Fat nine. Interesting. Moniker you have there. It's pretty interesting. Anyway, for those of you that are new, I'm Dr. George Kosmides. I'm a functional medicine doctor of chiropractic, and I teach diabetes education here in the state of California to doctors, one of the only chiropractors to do so. And I've written 4 books. My recent one is Life Without Diabetes. You can get this on Amazon, Creative Space, both in the e-format and the print, and I've got a special for you guys today. The reason I did that is I lost my father and 2 uncles to 55. My father was 56, my uncle was 55, and Uncle John was 31. All the complications of diabetes. So I really got into the research aspect of it. Started studying everything I could. So here I am 16 years later. Hey, Jeff. And I now teach doctors in the state of California for the continuing education hours. And I enjoy what I do. It's good meeting you, and the name is Franklin. Sorry, Franklin. Let's get a picture in that egg. Crack that egg, as they would say. So I have a Lean Body 360 group. For those of you that are on the scope tonight, I try to be here most nights. I'm in the office late 2 or 3 days a week, so I'm not, but I try to be here most nights at 8 p.m. So tonight's scope is for people not only on my Lean Body 360 program, but for others of you out there that go through a program, you're doing everything right, and then all of a sudden nothing really happens for a few days or a week, and in my case it was 11 days before the scale began to move. And I'm going to try to explain why that happens and answer any questions. The one thing that you want to make sure you're doing is you're supporting your lean body mass. That's a key component of my lean body program. It's key, and you've got to know that. And I used to give out that secret because it's a gem of my program, but if you want it, you have to get in my program, and here's a special deal. Anyone that's in my program now, you can email me for a chance to win 15-minute, I'll give a 20-minute one-on-one with me. And anyone who signs up for my program, I'll give you a copy of my book, a signed copy of my book. I'll mail it to you directly. For those of you that are already in my program, I'll work something out where you'll get some other material inside the program as well. So I want to make it as easy as possible if you get the information and the education you need to move forward. Now, that being said, why do we get stuck? Okay, so there's some real medical technical terms for it. But what I call it is a rest. Your body takes a physiological pause. So it's kind of like your body takes a breath. There's a mechanism in the brain, the hypothalamus, which is the kind of the orchestrator of the hormones in the body. When you're making these drastic changes, and in some cases even minor changes toward a healthier lifestyle, you have to remember that your body has gotten used to that way of being. Whether it was, eating a lot of processed foods. Hold on one second. Hold on one second. My daughter came out. I had to make sure she was dressed. So your body goes through this rest pause phase, and what happens is your body has to catch up. It has to rebalance itself. So things like burning fat for fuel, elevating your metabolism aren't priorities. What's more of a priority is making sure your blood sugar stays balanced, make sure your heart rate stays evenly keeled, more fundamental things to living than burning fat or necessarily getting healthier. And we would think, oh, the body's going to do that. The body has gotten used to a certain way of being for a long time. Thanks for joining, Teresa. But that doesn't mean it's a healthy way of being. It has to tolerate it and had to deal with it. So these things could last a week. In my case, it lasted, 11 days where I was just stuck. Because I'm also on my own program, Lean Body 360 program, working on getting toward, I'm trying to get to 9%. I'm working on that. So 11 days, nothing happened, nothing moved, body fat scale didn't move, but now I'm starting to tick. It dropped by 0.5. So it doesn't seem like much, but don't get discouraged. If you're doing the appropriate things, if you're doing the appropriate things, your body's just taking a physiological rest to catch up. 9% is my goal. I'm hovering somewhere between 11 and 13. That's my ultimate my goal, and I think I can do that in a healthy way, but it's not easy. Understand, the lower that you get, once you break 30%, things kind of not necessarily get more difficult, but now get more strategic. You have to be more strategic. And once you get below 25, so about every 3 to 5% you drop, it gets more difficult. And forget about the vanity standpoint. We all want to look good, no question. But body fat plays a critical role in disease processes, especially for you women. When you guys get above 30%, your difficulty of ovarian and breast cancer goes up 20, 30 times. I forget the number, but it's huge. And above 40%, it's even bigger than that. So fat plays a huge role in how you cope with disease processes. That's why it's so important to get it down. And that's why on any weight loss program that you're doing, the focus needs to be on body fat reduction. So anyone can do it. Anyone can have you drop the weight from a water perspective or a... How are you doing? You need help? Yeah. Hold on, my daughter needs some help. Hold on. I have a 5-year-old. So if the focus is on fat metabolism, that's always the most difficult. But see, would a gluten-free diet help? But see, if you have a gluten intolerance problem, you've got a digestive issue first. And gluten, and the research is pretty clear on this, it's besides the point. It's the quality of the gluten that appears to be the problem. Thank you, I try. So, give you an example. So, protein. How many of you know what? How many of you on this scope? And it's kind of important to know what gluten is. What is gluten anyway? And if those of you who actually know it and you're certain you know it, you don't necessarily have to answer. But for some of you that are indifferent, if you don't know, it's okay. Gluten is the protein of the element. So there are different qualities of protein, and I talk about that just about every scope. It's another mainstay in my program. It's called the biological value. So you want to make sure that the protein that you consume has a high biological value, because the lower the biological value, the more difficult it is to process, and that could gum up the works as well as far as your weight loss continuing to improve. So I wouldn't get so much focused on, is it gluten-free? I mean, I don't really focus on that too much. I do focus on good quality protein, good quality foods, and a frequency. These things are important. Once we start becoming, the media has a lot to do with this whole aspect of gluten. And what's happened is they've replaced a lot of the wheat glutens with potato starch, which is a high glycemic load food. So you're going from bad to worse, in my opinion. So again, when your body is going through this, yeah, that's absolutely correct. When your body is going through this change, this metabolic change, it's not going to be a linear chart like this. And people that are on my family and my program, 5th or 6th week, usually they'll get some sort of a pause. The body will just kind of hover. You're not doing anything wrong if you're following the fundamental steps of the program. The body just has to catch its physiological breath. I searched for a term to more accurately describe that. But but that makes the most sense. Your body's just taking a breath. It's kind of like athletes who work out. You hear, oh, I hit a wall, or my training hit a plateau. This is no different. Your body has to physiologically catch its breath in order to ramp up, because it has to kind of organize things in the back end. And then it can move forward, organize things in the back end and move forward. That's why in my program that's 12 weeks long, there's probably, depending on your health status, there could be 2 or 3 rest pause breaks in that 12 weeks. So that's why I'm not too worried when I get emails and direct messages, hey, I'm stuck. As long as you're doing the program, as long as you're watching your portion sizes. Some people come into the program and they're really heavy and they're eating better foods, but they don't be mindful of the portion sizes. There's no calorie counting or weighing of your food in my program, but you do want to be mindful of your portions. And I use the hand as a tool. Bill Phillips, an excellent author, years ago wrote a book called Fit for Life, and he used the hand. It made a lot of sense. White carbs are essentially sugar in your body, correct? How does it take to detoxify off that? Just stop eating it. That's the first thing you can do. Hey, Jeff, welcome. When we talk about, when the viewer talked about white carbs, is honey good for a scratchy throat? Not necessarily. Raw honey could have some benefits to it, but if you have a scratchy throat, this is going to sound interesting. If you have a scratchy sore throat, it's possible this time of the year, a teaspoon of black pepper in hot water and gargle with it will heat the throat. And that will actually help your body's immune system deal with whatever is there. Usually it's a bacterial infection. So salt may soothe it, but it's not going to really do anything, because the heat is the key. That's why when we get we're fighting a virus or bacteria, what does our body do? It generates a fever. Fever is a good thing. It's the immune system doing its thing, warming up, revamping. And as you go through this program, you may see bouts of that where maybe last winter was really rough on you. Now this winter you're tolerating it a little bit better because you're a little bit healthier. So again, was that clear on this rest pause and why these things happen? So what sprout portion control? I don't understand that question. Hey, JD's number 1 fan, thanks for joining. Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, remember, honey, boiled down to it, if it's raw, it has a lot more benefit, but just processed heated honey is pretty much sucrose. Hey. So again, did that make sense on this rest pause? And because I've gotten several questions on this. Portion control. Oh, portion control. Use your fist, but if you're really heavy, be mindful of that. One of the issues with my program can be, because there's no weighing of food, there's no calorie counting. You can get out of control with your portions, but it doesn't happen often. You just have to be mindful of that. I mean, if someone's 350 pounds, their hand is probably 30% larger just because of all the fat and fluid. So it's going to influence their portion sizes. Hey, Donna, thanks for joining. So again, be reasonable, but understand that these rest pause scenarios are going to happen whether you're training for the Olympics or you're, trying to drop that extra 5% of body fat. Hey, Cleveland, it's just inevitable. And everyone's physiologically different, so you never know when. Actually, in the group, guys, I'm going to make an audio on this as well so you can have it and replay it. But thanks for sharing, Dahl. Some of you, I don't want you to lose your emotional integrity or your momentum. And don't let that bother you. Nothing is ever like this, especially in life. Yeah, I'm only 137. I think I'm eating too much. Well, yeah, but what's your body fat, kid? That's the key. Weight's arbitrary. Weight is totally arbitrary. So to tell you how specific we are, if I ask, okay, you're 28%, okay, 28%. So people that are on my program, what's your body fat percentage? And you watch it, they'll just throw up their numbers, because this number is absolutely crucial. It's one of the foundations for making the whole program work properly. Is you have to have that number, because there's a lot of things. See, 35.1, 32. These are crucial numbers. You cannot guess. And once you have these numbers, and they're real easy to get. 38.9. Donna, you're dropping that. I want to see you 30% before the end of February. I think you can get there. So understand that those numbers are crucial to everything you do lifestyle related. And once you know them, it's pretty simple to support the numbers that come off of those. And that will have a lot to do if you're having a break in your, or almost a pause in your program, whether you're on the Lean Body 360 program or some other program. If the fundamentals are being met, it'll regain momentum again. But if the fundamentals of how your body's physiology works is not, it won't. So when you're burning fat for fuel, that process is drastically much more complicated than burning sugar for fuel. So you have to do specific things to make that happen. And the leaner you get, not the harder it becomes, but the more accurate you have to be. And it's easy to be accurate when you have accurate numbers. But if you're just kind of guessing, you're going to get. It's kind of like going to exam and guessing on the answers. You may pass, you may fail, but the likelihood of you failing is greater. But if you go in there prepared and you understand the basics, the chance of you passing is much much greater. So just keep applying the standard principles, and you'll get the body that you want, however lean you want to get. I've worked with people that have gotten down to 5%, and I've worked with people whose body fat's 60+%. The principles are exactly the same. There's no difference. And that's when you know what you're doing is correct. It took me 20 years to figure this out and put together my lean body program. There's nothing like it because we trickle the information out every week for 12 weeks. Then there's the program. Then there's the coaching calls along with it that are with you guys for a year. So you have to just be specific and be patient and let your body come back online. It will. Some is 3 days, some is 5 days. Like I said, for me, I was stuck at 11 days, and I was getting like, oh, what's happening? So I recalibrated my numbers, looked at things, but I think 2 days ago it kicked back in. I saw a half a pound or half a percentage point kick down. So, can you please tell me if I eat too much fruit? Well, you definitely don't want to eat the fruit, the 3 hours before bed, like we talked about before. Again, it's an hourly circumstance. Remember, protein and vegetables with each meal. Fruit is just sugar. Unless you're being very active, it's going to go around your system once or twice and then get converted into fat for fuel. Hey, Mike, you see? So protein's not going to support your fruit's not going to support your lean body mass, but a good biological value protein is. So you have to kind of look at your own dynamics and work within the program's guidelines. And keep, checking your body fat, calculating your lean body mass, and see if you're supporting that. In most cases, if I'm supporting my lean body mass, I don't have much room for a lot of fruit. Yeah, that may be. But see, the fact that you've become mindful that that's a possibility, now there's room for some change. But if you just were like, oh, I don't know why, that's why you go back to those numbers. I talk about them. It's not calculus. It's a pretty simple formula to figure out. And it's just about, I think it's in every email that you get every week from me, and it's always up in your members area, so you can always we're working on a calculator that you can go online and just type in your numbers, but that's easier said than done because there's a lot of calculators out there, but to me they're way off. I mean, a lot of them are just way off. From what we're trying to accomplish, which is to get fat for fuel and support your lean body mass as quickly as possible. And my program focuses more on, I think, your health than just dropping the weight. I am getting most protein from whey. Great. Just make sure you know the numbers. Hey, Dr. Nick, thanks for joining. Just make sure you know those, what your lean body mass is, what your, how many grams you need to support that lean body mass, and I can almost promise you that you'll break through that stuck point that you're at. We all get there. And again, whether you're a world-class athlete or you're someone who's just trying to get their body fat below 30%, same principles hold true. Okay, so you're at 60 grams a day. Okay, great. So your lean body mass somewhere around 1/30th. I think I'm recommending about 0.5 to start with. I've got that sliding scale for those of you in the program, 0.3, 0.5, and 0.7. Depending on where you're at. But the goal is you want to get 0.5 and then move to 0.7. That's a relatively good place. And if you're doing that, there should be a lot of room for extra calories because it's not easy to do. 117, okay. So you're just above 0.5. And again, a lot's going to depend on your activity level. Some people on the program, they're so big that, they're not moving around much. So maybe they're more toward the, 0.5 or less grams and watch their other intake. You have to be mindful of that. One of our program participants, one of our leaders in the program, have that raw chocolate hearts on my blog. She made that, but she ate all of them in one day. So she asked me what the serving size was. The serving size is 1, but I think she made 13. She made all 13 in one day, or made them and ate them all in one day because they're so good. So if you have that sort of weakness, don't have that stuff around. I mean, there's certain things that are just universal, and you have to have some sort of a discipline. I can take them or leave them, but I can tell you when they're in the freezer, I'll eat one a day, one every other day. But if they're not there, I don't miss them. So just go by your own. Your own sense of discipline. If you're not disciplined, don't be around it. I can't have that stuff. I can't have cakes and cookies in my house. I have it at work all the time, but I don't touch it. It's all for the staff. And they say, "Oh, we're so sorry." Don't be sorry. It doesn't really bother me. It's okay. It's okay. So does that help you guys with the rest, pause, and how to really understand when you go through these phases? It's going to happen. No question about it. It's just a matter of time. So again, anybody goes to the website, that's exactly why I have. Yeah, this one's not bad. Just it's just Amy did she's just taboo. She just made them all and then she ate them all. Because see, the mindset is, you didn't get week 6 yet. Okay, I'll make sure that you get that when I end the scope. I'll make sure I'll send you the test email. Make sure you get it. For those of you that don't know, our site was attacked about 3 days ago, and Andrew got everything back up, and he's loading everything now. But it was a pretty horrific back-end attack. Yeah, the avocado pudding, isn't that something? I made that on the University of Hawaii TV, and the administrator couldn't believe it. Yeah, avocado, that's right. So the things that you add, you can change the flavor. Amazing. Just remember, be reasonable. Half an avocado a day, no problem. But you start getting 2 or 3, that could be it could be a calorie problem. But I think Mama's Child said she's not moving. Well, if you're not moving and you have bad knees, you can do chair exercises. I'm going to post either on Facebook or in the group some chair exercise videos that I think are good. So I'm going to support you guys along the way and way past the 12 weeks because I want to see all of you reach your goal and maintain your goal. And you can only do that with doing things that are reasonable. If you start getting extreme with things, it's not going to last. Yeah, you're not moving, then you need to probably watch your fruit intake. Because remember, fruit is kind of a sugar, and that's what we burn for fuel. If you don't burn it, it'll get converted into stored fuel, which we know is fat. So be careful. And again, just monitor yourself and really look at what you're doing. If you're just staying home and snacking all day, watch your snacks. Relatively, it'll have an effect. And you don't want to do extreme things like dieting. That's not going to help. Great questions, though. So again, anyone who joins tonight, they get signed copy of my book. I'll mail that to you personally, and you guys can go to my Facebook page and just register to win. I'll give you a half-hour consult with me. It's like a $175 value. And if you win, you can send me your labs and I'll review them and just chat with you about your health. Yeah, French toast recipe was awesome, right? Yeah. That's probably not in the group. I need to add that. I don't know if that's in the Facebook group or not, but yeah, I have that regular. I probably have that twice a week. My 5-year-old daughter. Understand this, guys, that I've designed my work and these tips in my program to work within a family. Some of the biggest compliments I get are from. Oh, you saw it on the scope. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. When Joanne came, is being able to make these foods that will fit into a fat loss program that my 5-year-old daughter will eat it, my wife will eat it. That's the real key. What do we have to submit? Just go to Facebook and say, I want to enter in the, Lucretia, is that Lucretia? I think you're already on with me for a conference call. I think we're on Monday morning after the coaching call. And then you need to send me your labs as well. We'll discuss that. And this goes for people who are in the program or for new people. Oh, thanks, Donna. Yeah, so you're already on. Did that information I gave you when you went to see your doctor, did that help you? Or did you go yet? Remember you asked me, I'm excited to see mine. Yeah, oh, so you did go, and how was the meeting when you asked the doctor that question? Did it go well? Oh, okay. Yeah, people ask me, I would say all the time if they can record my conversations. That's no problem. Your doctor was great, right? When you talk to him reasonably and you have a set game plan, you'll be amazed. Hey, Amy, you'll be amazed what kind of respect that you get back. Because the problem is most doctors, it's patients just vomit out on them. Here, I want this, I want that, I want this, I want that. I don't want this, and they kind of like dictate to the doctor, and that's not the way to go. The goal is to have a dialogue with them and let them know, hey, look, here's the things that I'm doing, and they see that you're reasonable. They might not understand it or explain it the way that I do, and that's okay. That's not the point. The point is now you have a dialogue with someone, now you got a level of respect. And as you twice a year, whatever you go there and you ask things, they'll be more likely to meet your request because you're being reasonable rather than being dictating or I don't want this. And I've never met anyone that wants to take drugs normally. But at the same time, I've met people who aren't willing to make any changes, so that's their only option. You see, is that going to fix the problem? Heavens no, it's not going to fix the problem, but they're not willing to make any adjustments. Thank you for sharing, Kit Kat. But the people on at least my scope, I think a lot of you have made some adjustments. And sorry, Amy, and seeing some results. So the idea is make a few adjustments, you get some traction, you make some more adjustments, you get some bigger traction, and before long, you're really rolling. Your doctor wants to see me again in March to see where I'm at. And she's excited. Excellent. See, that's what you want. That's why it's always about you, the patient. It's not about the doctor. You want to be respectful, no question. But you're the reason why we're here. We're not here for anything else but to help you improve your health. And if you disagree with our methods or our approach, there's other choices. If you like our methods and approach, refer to that doctor. Tell your friends and family about it. That's the best referral that anyone can get is, hey, look, this doctor helped me. He's reasonable. He talks nice to me, or he's kind to me. Whatever moved you to see him, share that with your friends. And we as doctors want patients. We want like patients. We want patients who are willing to make some adjustments in their lifestyle. You're in new clothes tonight. Excellent. I know it's not always moonlight and canoes. It's not always smooth sailing, but I try to make it as easy as possible. Yeah, you can disagree. I interviewed, we interviewed 4 obstetricians before we chose one. They were all nice, but I didn't care for the first 3's point of view. Nothing against them. If I saw them today, I would still be very nice to them. But you have to go what makes sense to you. And once you start realizing that ultimately you're responsible for your health, things begin to change and shift. I have new pants from 4 years ago. I can wear them to Florida. Oh, Amy, you're just doing fantastic. You come back from Florida below 300 pounds. You watch. Yeah, Amy started with me when she was about mid 330s, 335, and now she's tickling 300. And I would say 85% of that was from body fat. That's the key. I need to. I will show you when I get done. Okay. Okay. You can do just, if you have bad knees or hips, you can just do things in the chair. Just move your arms in the chair. Go on to your computer, go on to YouTube and type in chair exercises. And, I would be far-fetched to think of, unless it was bizarre, that you could hurt yourself doing things in the chair. You guys remember Jack LaLanne? He did that stuff back in the 60s. Spinning is good. I actually have a girl in the office who broke her foot in a spin class. Yeah, she's like going her first month of rehab. Yeah, just work that bike slowly, 10 minutes a day. But if you're on ancillary oxygen and other things, you have to be real mindful. Keep your breath. Don't get the huffing and puffing. Because remember, exercise is a form of controlled trauma. You're traumatizing your body. Hopefully it'll rebuild, but you have to get into the rebuild stage. So mama's child, you have to get your protein intake down. If you're not really dropping, considerable weight, if you're really heavy, you need to look at your portion control. Yeah, so don't lose your breath. If you're huffing and puffing, you're not going to get there any faster. Matter of fact, that's actually going to slow your progress down because now you're in anaerobic mode. Oh, you showed my brother? Oh, he weighs 173. Great. Yeah, when you're reasonable, it's easy for people to support you. And there was some, this is from comments from the group I noticed. You guys aren't going to talk any spouses or family members into doing what you're doing. Oh, you at 173? Yeah, but what's your percent of body fat? That's the key. I would keep asking that. Keep throwing that out there. Just be an example. Amy, I know you're being an example to a lot of people. That's right. You're 32%. Okay, let's keep knocking that down. 30. We want to hit 30%. That's the magic number. And then you may take a rest pause once you get there. I don't know. I had a Virgil's Zero Cream Soda today. I had one too where I threw the bottle away. I had a root beer. That's my favorite. It's probably one of the best soda pops. But I maybe have 4 a month, 5 a month. So it's not something that I keep in the fridge all the time because I'll just drink them. Drum Char T Pro. Hey, how do you feel about cheat days? Well, to me, that French toast is a cheat. That's a cheat, right? You're the one that had the French toast. To me, that's a cheat. But as far as eating white bread and McDonald's and stuff like that, you know, I'm 52 years old. It's not, you know, it's a slippery slope. My body fat's 22 and my weight is, but I was 270. I plateaued. That was effective. That's a pretty good body fat percentage. That's a pretty good body fat percentage. But again, when you lose weight really fast, remember, to burn fat for fuel is a complex process. Metabolically, it's very complex. You have to go through different pathways, and I mean, if you were to draw the formula, it would be like huge. Where the sugar formula is small, fat formula would be like 5 times as long. He doesn't really tell you to cheat because what you want is, yeah, nothing is off limits, but yeah, okay, so Mama saying if you're overeating fruit, guess what? Stop that. That's the miracle. You know, you have to look at these things pragmatically. You have to say yes or no. Once you start giving yourself too much leeway, then you start justifying things. Well, you know, I did this, and you know, I'm doing this because, you know, I feel bad, or whatever it is. I get a reward. I don't play that game. No, there's some cycling options out there, but you know, I'm working with a doctor now that came to me, and she was doing all this cycling and carb loading and all this. You know, you have to be so particular about that because I did that for years. I did, you know, 0 carbs and put 10-day cycles together, but you're not going to spark your metabolism if you're not in deep ketosis because there's nothing to spark. They call it carb loading. Well, you have to carb deload. You have to play this whole game. You know, the reason that the Lean Body 360 program works is it's consistent, and you can dip in and out of ketosis, but it's not going to be a huge strain. Not that I have come to realize about. Yeah, good. So the first thing about making any adjustments is you first become mindful. Say, I'm doing ABC. And the second thing is, you know, what are you going to do about it? That's the question I ask patients all the time, and they come to me and they say, I've got fibromyalgia, I've got, you know, type 2 diabetes. My question is, okay, you have it. What are you going to do about it? And 9 times out of 10, I get this puzzled look. Kidney, yeah, good stuff. Amy, you're coming such a far way. And the reason why someone like Amy gets so motivated is when you drop 50 pounds and a good 85% of that is fat, that's like losing my daughter who's 52 pounds, 53 pounds. That's like losing a 5-year-old child off of your body. That's humongous. Thank you, Amy. And just like Amy, she finished the 12 weeks, but we're still in the coaching phase because now she's going to her next phase. She's going on the 12-week post-active phase, and we're putting together a program for that. Should I replace coconut water with plain water in the green whey drink? I would. Do you think I am more regular that would help drop the pounds? More regular as far as going to the bathroom, more regular as far as consistency. You have to understand that the body loves consistency, and there's a phrase I use a lot called consistency has a quality all of its own. You can do the best laid plans, but if you're not consistent, whether it's business, your website, or whatever it is, it's not going to go. It's going to go for naught. My brother was talking about doing South Beach again. I said, thank you. Yeah, it's not a diet. That's the big thing. You know, it took me 20 years to figure this out. And, you know, I was in the bodybuilding field, and I get figured people I worked with, and what you figure after a while is there's certain fundamental things that don't change. And if you can just, you know, learn those and put those in a way that people can follow through with, you know, amazing results. Were you always mentally fit like this? I will stay with plain water then. Okay, great. It's space-time repetition. You know, I had an old osteology teacher. I think his name was Dr. Olson. Said space-time repetition will get superior results. Space-time repetition. Yeah, Amy's doing phenomenal. But there's no magic. And the key thing is fat loss, health improvement, lab improvements. That's why I encourage people, you know, send me your labs. I want to, you know, cheer along with you, because I know your labs are going to change. But you notice not too many diet programs talk about that. They talk about weight loss, vanity. Okay, great. That's all going to happen. What about their lab work? What about their body fat reduction? You don't hear that mentioned too much. And there's no jumping up and down on boxes, throwing around kettlebells. All these things can injure you. And all it takes is one time to be injured, and your momentum is going to go down the tubes. You're not 20, 25 years old anymore. The majority of people that are on my program are 35 and above. You know, there's a few of them that are around my age in their 50s. So I know what it's like to be injured. I also want to be lean like I was in my 20s. And I think it's possible, but you have to use this more than you use this. And that's what I'm focusing on. Yeah, that's ridiculous, not eating fruit for 3 years. Unacceptable. I have you buy a few. See, there's no extremes in my program, and there shouldn't be, because if you have a family, what are you going to do? You're going to be a hermit? You're going to you know, eat in a round table off in the corner somewhere? You want to eat with your family. So that's how I designed it. Nobody, you know, my program is not designed, and my demographic isn't bodybuilders or people who want to get 5%. I can help them, but I've done that. That's a separate issue. I know, Dr. G, you know, thanks for sharing your time and effort with. Oh, my pleasure, my pleasure. And I'm never here to make anyone wrong, you know. God bless you. Oh, you're so welcome. I'm glad you enjoyed the French toast. That is yummy. Yeah, I'm never here to make someone wrong, but physiology is just physiology, and you have to understand it well enough. Again, I teach this work. It's just, but I'm entrenched in it. 30 hours a week. It's all I look at. It's new research. Now they're finding out if you can drop a gram of fat off your pancreas, you can reverse type 2 diabetes. How you can singularly drop fat off your pancreas, I'm not certain of, but I'll read the research probably tomorrow at work. We're blessed to have met you. Oh, thank you so much, Amy. Well, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys, giving me hearts and sharing my work, and my program is Lean Body 360 program came up 3 months ago because of you guys wanting it, and I'm blessed that we're helping a couple people a week, and we're refining the program as we go. And you guys are staying, hanging in there with us when we have these little technical issues. But there's I'm always a direct message away. Oh, you like my shirt? Thank you. Thank you very much. Of course, my wife picked it out, so. All my good clothes, my wife picks out all the stuff that you say, why is he wearing that? And I probably picked it out, so I try not to pick up my clothes anymore. But anyway, I hope that information was helpful. I do all I can to help you. Lean Body 360 program, I think we're offering 50% off all the month of December, called Black December. Just go on there. We'll help you any way we can. You'll get in the Facebook group. If you got massive issues, I want you to realize that we said we need to be healthy. We did. That's right. It's not like any other program. It's not throwing supplements at you. Keep him from the closet. Yeah, keep him from the. It's not about any of that. It's about learning basic things that you keep for the rest of your life. It's 12 weeks, but you're going to have access to different materials. Different programs we're going to put together. You guys will have first dibs. It's all designed to take you into the next phase, which is going to be a health fitness phase. And that's where we're going to after the 12 weeks. So, getting your body, for you women, getting you guys below 30%, it's crucial. Getting you men getting your body fat below 25% is crucial. If you don't want disease in your life, you have to focus on that number and not focus on disease processes. Focus on improving your health, and disease processes are just that. They're a process. They take time. What's that old term? Moss doesn't go on a rolling stone. Diseases don't move to a healthy body. Sure, there are genetic abnormalities. You know, young children with leukemia, things breaks my heart. It happens, but that's rare. That's rare. 29% is your mindset now. See how it works? And I'll bet you this: when you get to 29, then you want to be 26, and that's okay. That's absolutely okay. That's how it should work. Just like with Amy, she's maybe 305, 306 now. She can't even think, oh, I want to be 160. She'll get there, but now she's got to think, I want that 300 number. I want to be And for some, it's like, oh, 300, she's still way obese. Hey, she was headed for 400 pounds. She was 355 at one time. Shopping and knowing the good. That's right. And when you have this knowledge, 2020, here's you're going to get there. Just remember, the lower you get, the tougher it gets. And Amy is still waiting to register on the bowel impedance scale. So I've got patients in all extremes. The principles remain the same. Don't let anybody sell you any bill of goods differently. You have to cycle this. You have to have a cheat day to spark this. You know, white flour and white sugar is just going to do that. It's going to spike your insulin level, create all kind of metabolic havoc. And this, well, that's how you'll confuse your body. Look, if you're ill, if you're metabolically ill already, you're obese, you're already shocked. Your metabolic system is already in trouble. That's not gonna help you. You have to support health, and then things will move. And then once you start, playing around with 20% or 25%, there may be some things you could do, but just having a junk day for the sake of someone said you have to shock your body. To me, that's more of a rationalization statement. Oh, I want to rationalize eating, whatever. You don't have to rationalize. Just go and do it if that's what you want to do. But 3 or 4 days, if you're on my program, don't direct message me and say, hey, I'm stuck. I feel really bad, because I'm not going to give you any sympathy. You can talk to Amy about that. They give no sympathy. Feel bad, get some tissues for your issues, and get back on track. It's not that difficult. This isn't, there's no exercise involved. There's no killing yourself. There's no, extremes kind of stuff. Well, I have sympathy, but I'm not going to support. And that's part of the problem, I think, with people who get neural health problems. They get around circles that support their situation, and it makes them feel comfortable, so they don't want to move. So remember, change is always uncomfortable. That's right, tissues for your issues. That's absolutely correct. Because I'm a stand for going this way. I'm not a stand for going backwards. We all can go backwards. You cannot do that. And a lot of you that have had junk, Amy, other people, they talk in French. You can have an hour, 2-hour conversation on why you feel bad. What's the point of all that? How's it going to move you anywhere? I'm no psychiatrist or psychologist, but I can tell you after listening to several prominent, eminent people in that field, that's the worst thing you can do for these folks. You may think in your mind you're making them feel good, but all you're doing is crutching them up, supporting their weakness. You don't want to do that. Spend time with and just exercise. Yeah. Get out moving. Get out moving. Move that body. Gently. Not stair climb. Move. It could be walking to your mailbox, walking down to see your neighbor. If you have a big dog, be mindful. I've had 2 patients in the last 3 weeks have messed up shoulders because their dog, would run off on them and jerk their shoulder out of the, just be mindful. Okay. Last thing I want you to do is get on, if I get on a scope or direct message me, hey, I did what you said, now I've got a hurt knee or something. So just be reasonable. I got to go getting the van ready for Florida. Okay, thanks for coming on. Have a good trip. Drive safely, please. Yeah, whatever is comfortable for you, but keep your breath. I did a whole scope on that a few scopes ago about keeping your breath. Oh, okay. Great, Amy. Any more? Hey, Lynn, thanks for joining. Thank you for the hearts. Yeah, you should move enough to sweat, but the key is to keep your breath. Okay. Yeah, binaural beat, that's correct. So when you lose your breath, in other words, here's how. No, this is the growth hormone releasing, the Proarginine 9 Plus that I recommend. It's on my website. I've been drinking it for about 14 weeks now. I've dropped about 6% body fat. Yeah, you can walk in the soft sand, Amy. Don't think about the word run. I don't even recommend it for most people, unless they're training for an event, but the soft sand. Just think about it this way. You should be able to talk while working out. That's absolutely correct. You should be able to carry on a casual conversation. Once you get ahead of your breath, crack that egg. Who is that? Seahawk. Crack that egg, Seahawk. Oxygen dependent, but easy to use, and keep breathing. Okay, make sure if you got oxygen in your nose, you're breathing through your nose, not through your mouth, because then the oxygen is pretty much, 50% of it's wasted. Okay? So the whole idea is that you get healthy enough where you become less and less dependent. That's the key. So you direct message me or come on my, oh, it's a mask. Oh, okay. Just remember, you win in the kitchen. The nutrition you're eating is number one. Exercise is a distant second. It's important, but it's a distant second. Have you seen any other improvements in other stats in the 14-week program? My blood pressure has dropped like 105 over 65. It's dropped about 10 points. Body fat's hovering around 12.5%, 11 to 13% in that range. I feel more alert. Because remember, the small blood vessels are in your eye, and the nitric oxide effect, the whole Nobel Prize issue with this product is fat loss is like a sidebar comment. Yeah, into the nose, out through the mouth is limbic breathing. That's supposed to be the best way. But I have a deviated septum, so this side of my nose is completely shut off. I don't recommend Adderall for studying at college. I don't recommend any medications like that. Proarginine would be a good thing because it vasodilates, helps improve the vascular system, and the smallest blood vessels in the brain are vascular. Actually, they're in the eye. So by improving the nitrous oxide effect, improving the health of the cardiovascular walls of the cardiovascular system, you're going to improve blood supply and everything. Male sexual performance, physical performance. I had a soda pop filling in my right leg. I think I damaged my femoral artery years ago, and I haven't heard that probably the last 6 weeks. Do you recommend caffeine pills instead of a drug? No, I don't recommend either. Nootropics, not sure what that is. I am on second jar of the Proarginine. Dr. G, should I buy the biggest jar? I did. I bought the big one, the 6-month supply. It works out to be about $35 no, let's see, $240. Yeah, it works out to be about 30% less. Yeah, I know you bought the 7-pack. And the E9, I'm telling you, I'm going through like 2 boxes a month of the E9. It's the stimulant, but it's not a stimulant like coffee. It's more of a mental focus stimulant, and it's keeping me pretty focused without being jittery. So I had 2 packets today. I think my latest was 1 o'clock. Yeah, E9 is something. The 7-pack is the Proarginine, but if you're going to get the 7-pack, just get the big can. I think you'll get an extra few ounces and save some bucks. Hello, my name is Big Mac. Hey, Big Mac, thanks for joining. Crack that egg. Why don't you like about Adderall? Well, I don't prescribe drugs, but again, you're taking something to synthetically alter a normal chemical. Do you really want to do that? There has to be. I didn't get that last question. There has to be a price to pay. Do you like my friend's French fries? I have no idea. Yeah, E9 is pretty interesting. Yeah, I mean, I would rather do an E9 or an espresso than start fooling around with that. No, I cannot prescribe drugs. I leave that to the drug prescribers. That's not my field of expertise. I don't prescribe marijuana. I don't smoke. Interesting. That's a good question. I don't know if it would be. I don't know if it would be because it's not a stimulant like coffee. It creates mental acuity and mental focus. I choose not to smoke. I mean, you don't have to, if you just read the research on it, it's not good for anything. Cardiovascular health is the first issue, so why do that? So yeah, smoking is becoming like outdated. What does, I have no idea what weed does. That's not my field of expertise. Would the protein help before lifting weights? You could try. Well, here's what I would try. Try to go to the gym an hour and a half or so, just a protein meal, no carbohydrates, and then take the E9 and see if but you need to do it for a few weeks to see if you get a benefit. You might see a strength increase, fat metabolism acceleration because of the human growth hormone release. Well, what is vape? It's propylene glycol, basically. It's antifreeze. My field of expertise, I teach diabetes education to doctors here in the state of California. I'm a clinical nutritionist and a licensed doctor of chiropractic for about 20 years. There's almost no calories in E9. I don't think there's any. I think the sweetener is stevia. But I got to tell you, it's one of the first things I look for in the morning. I use a little bit of water, a little bit of chlorophyll, and I just slap it back. And I have no desire for coffee. Because coffee is, it'll stain your teeth, number one. It's not good for your digestive tract. It's probably the single biggest cause of gastric reflux. Anal alcohol consumption, I read it's low cut. Yeah, any more questions like that, man, I'm gonna have to block you, my friend. 20 calories, is that what it is? I'm not certain, I never look. I haven't looked. But it's not much at all. And since you take it in the daytime, I wouldn't be too concerned. Straight chiropractic office, yeah. Adjustments could be 2 or 3 minutes, but we have physical therapy in our office. We have massage therapy. We have physical therapy department. So at 20 calories, yeah. I think it's from xylitol, I think. Yeah, but that's getting kind of hokey. Yeah, I'm not the person to ask those sort of questions to. But I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. That's no problem. I've had stranger questions asked of me, and people who are dead serious too. So that's fine. No one's going to punish you, but, Yeah, but that's only one aspect. What else are you doing? If you quit drinking beer, but you're still, eating a poor quality diet and not supporting your lean body mass, what's the point? So you have to look at what you're changing and what you're looking to benefit. That's the key, the risk versus reward. That's with anything. Workout's not even in my program. Working out is like riding a stationary bike really hard and expecting to get somewhere. What's the most outrageous thing you've ever seen as a doctor? Yeah, xylitol is not a bad sweetener. Most outrageous thing is a lady who wanted to keep her disease so her daughter wouldn't go back to Missouri. That was the most probably heartbreaking thing I've seen. It may not be heartbreaking to some, but just imagine the mother is keeping the daughter from getting married and having a family. Yeah, usually they say for every year you smoked, it takes about 1.5 years to clean up. My diet's been not the greatest. Yeah, change. You change one thing, beer drinking. That's great. I mean, you don't have to be that extreme. I may have 2 beers a month or something like that. You don't have to be that extreme. But then look at your overall picture. The Lean Body 360 program. You're welcome. I give everyone a chance. Everyone a chance. I'm working with someone that has a male function issue, and I give everyone a chance. Oxygen dependent on sleep and exercise. Well, on the program, you should see some metabolic improvement. If you're not, we need to go back and re-see what you're doing. But we need to set you up with a call as well. So for those of you that are on my program now, put that go to my Facebook and say I want in, and we'll get you in I'll do a call with you guys. I want to support you guys as much as I can. Do you have any suggestions for foot pain? Both my feet feel like they've They tighten up. Could be a number of things. Could be minerals, could be avascular problems. Remember, when you have diabetes or avascular issues, it's either the eyes or the feet, the farthest from the heart. If you're heavy, that'll play a role. So it could be so many factors. Wrong shoes. Some people wear, shoes that are too small for their feet. So many factors. It's a good. See, that's a common sense response, and that's the first thing you want to rule out is common sense things. If a woman wears 6-inch heels and she always has, foot problems, it doesn't take a genius to figure that out. Okay, great. We'll get you there. Just remember, mindfulness, nothing's wrong. You're doing fine. Hopefully you feel better than you did when you started. Colds all the time, cold hands all the time. Could be you're not supporting your lean body mass. Could be you have some nerve issues in the neck that are affecting nerves going down the arm. Could be calorie deprivation. Again, it could be several things, several factors. Several factors involved in that. And hopefully, if you have a primary doctor, you explain to them, they'll work through some methods to figure out why. But take care of the simple things first. Gout will usually be in the big toe, be really bad pain. If you're a heavy meat eater, have a history of alcohol, that can participate in gout. Went to school in UNLV and then here in California. I do feel free and happy too much better than you. Oh, great. And we'll just keep building on that happiness, that happy feeling. Because remember, once you own this work up here, then you can apply it. But some of the people that I've seen that were the smartest in my career, some of them didn't apply anything. They just knew everything. Gout is uric acid crystals that form and usually in the distal ends of the toes, and it can be extremely painful. Highly acid diets precipitate in that. So wine, meat, people who eat very low greens, very acidic diet can, that could be a side effect of gout. And there's real easy ways to clean that up if you catch, if you just be consistent. But normally they keep falling back in their same old lifestyle patterns. And eventually, hopefully, build up of, I remain teachable at least. You're teachable. Just apply. There's a lot of people on my scopes that have a passive support. They give me hearts and they share they invite their followers. But what I'm looking for is you guys to get active and apply something consistently and daily, and don't rationalize away. Well, this is this, and this big cake my friend gave me, so I have to eat it. Those types of things don't fly. I'm glad. Hopefully, I'll remain teachable until I had very fortunate to have mentors in my life that were just brilliant, and I think part of their brilliance was they didn't think they were that sharp. And I was very fortunate. And all over, Indian, Chinese, Japanese, every Hispanic, every form of nationality was my teacher, and they all had something to contribute. Thank you. Thank you. I just build my work on the back of giants, that's all. Deepak Chopra is now on Periscope a lot, though. He was my early idol. So if you ever see him, he has a real words of wisdom. I hope one day to be at least as speak as well as him. I try to be on a couple, 3-4 nights a week by 8 o'clock. It works out for the Lean Body 360 program is designed to work with anyone, and then going through the program you can morph it. Yeah, Chopra's a cool guy. Very deep. He wrote a number of excellent books. He'll probably be mad at me, but his first book that sticks in my mind is Ageless Body, Timeless Mind. I probably should put it on my website so you guys you want to check it out, but brilliant piece of work. Hope I can write a book that good one day. Okay, any more questions, guys, for me tonight? I've been on about an hour. I just joy. I'm working on it. That's right. Yeah, the vagus nerve is important. Breathing is important. One of the best forms of yoga I like is I believe it's pronounced Iyengar. And I actually saw the gentleman who founded it. He's like 93. unbelievable. Creatinine will help hydrate muscle cells. You stop taking it on Monday, the effects will be gone by Wednesday. Meditation is excellent. Breathing into your nose and out through your mouth. It's the limbic reflex, the person who mentioned earlier. Good advice. If you can look it up, called the limbic reflex. Do you recommend yoga? I recommend anything that's going to lengthen your body and strengthen your mind. Yoga is good. Pilates is good. I try to ride my bike 4 or 5 days a week on the beach. That's good. So, any questions? I mean, the questions that you asked that were really good. Thank you so much. Crack that egg and get a picture in there. Get a face. Thanks for joining me on Scope. I'll be on again. I don't know if I'll be on over the weekend, but I'll try. I work out, but not like you think. It's a little bit different. I still do resistance training, but not like you think. I have heard Herbalife has been around for a long time. Adios. Thank you guys so much for following my Periscope, and I will see you Saturday, Sunday, or Monday. One of those 3 days, or maybe it depends. Depends on what you're trying to accomplish. Come into the Lean Body 360 program. Who is that? Brilliant. We'll help you, I promise. You're gonna scope in a minute? Okay, great. All right, I'm gonna log off so I can follow a couple of my people doing their scopes and hear from them. And thank you so much for following, guys. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye so much. Thank you.